This is Channel 253. Beep, boop, boop, boop.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain Podcast.
One of the fun parts about it, because this is me, I'm a little kid this way, we're doing a no brew deck brew house. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Pretty weird, huh?
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody does that. So
Keep it on
this
the
will be
ground.
pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. There'll be no selfies in the brew deck, fuckers.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, coming to you guys from the Parkway Tavern in Tacoma, Washington, talking about all of your favorites, local beer nerd stuff from Tacoma and from surrounding areas, which is what we're doing today. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here, as always, with Ron Swarner.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Great.
Good. And Sean Jackson.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going, Sean?
Fucking awesome.
Good.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
For lots of reasons, the people that we're talking to today are awesome, and they are industry veterans in all sorts of capacities. And they have plenty to talk about because they're also spearheading one of the coolest, most exciting beer things that is happening in the Northwest in the next, year or so. Today we're talking to Aubrey Burt, who we all just call Abe because we love her and that's what she wants to be called, and fucking Pat Jansen. What's up, guys?
Fucking Pat.
Hello.
Abe, how are you?
So good, you guys.
Good.
So good. Happy
Thank you
to
for
see
coming
your
up.
faces.
Do you guys want to talk real quick about some of the stuff you guys have done in the industry and all that? Before we get to that, I do want to know what you guys are drinking, though. Pat, what are you drinking?
I have the beer from Ruse and Fort George. I think it's called Pizza Friends or Pizza Buddies or something like
Pizza
that.
Pals.
Yeah, it's got.
That's the one.
It has pizza in it, but it's super clear for a pizza beer, which is cool. Yeah.
Matt Hibbs
And-
is like, what?
Yeah, I have like a. Sean passed me a barley wine, which is very nice of him.
Yeah.
It just raised my 7% beer to, well, do the math. It's probably like 11 now. God damn it. Not sure what beer this is, though.
2016 Green Flash barley one.
Wow. I love Green Flash.
Wow, we're lucky.
Remember Green Flash?
I do.
Womp womp.
Oh, we could talk about that one at story time.
I always love their beer, so yeah.
Yeah. It
This
was
is a good example.
uh-huh.
This beer's fucking great. We're all drinking the barley wine because,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Barley wine and barley wine.
Abe, what do you have?
I've got the Stillwater Cellar Door Wheat Sage.
Yummy.
It's tasty shit.
Sean?
I've got the old Bill's Trick to Kale mild
Barley,
on cask, and then barley wine.
of course.
Of course.
How about you, Ron?
I'm drinking what you're drinking.
Yeah. That's super helpful.
Hold your ground. Don't break.
Somebody,
Thanks.
Make him do it.
somebody
Yeah.
poured your beer for you.
Okay, Advanced Cicerone. Tell us what it is.
Listen,
Linda, listen.
that's not what I brought you here for.
It's a hazy, Matt.
You're going to lose
It's
control of this
standards
one.
kids these days, which is a fucking delicious hazy IPA.
So, Pat,
Doesn't take a sister.
Sir?
hello. It's good to see you
Good to
again.
see you, too, by the
Yeah.
way. I was at your place on Sunday.
Nice.
I missed you, unfortunately, but it was fun.
I was at Hama Hama Oysters.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Lucky.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. So, you studied soil pH for many, many years. You homebrewed for 8 years. You are considered a yeast yogi. You delivered the mail for the U.S. Postal Service. You met Darby's Cafe owners Nathan and Sarah at the Helsing Junction sleepover
So far, so good.
while listening to K-record bands and eating organic food, right?
I think there's food there.
Yeah. They asked you to be the founding head brewer of their proposed brewery.
Wild.
And it was a professional brewery and they wanted to focus on British style beers, right? Kinda?
It was a little more wide open than that. It was more of just like can we find someone who can make beer good enough to sell and be open and not like be, kind of like, oh shit, the beer's really bad. That was, I mean, in a nutshell, that was like the real goal when it came down to it was, can we make better than bad beer? It was like actually make good beer. And then we made pretty good beer, I think. It seemed to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so they asked you to be their founding brewer, and you did leave the Postal Service. So no more publisher clearinghouse, sad faces, no more dog bites.
Yeah.
And then this guy from the Gravity Beer Market and Skep came aboard who liked to make big beers, and he was your Robin, and you guys opened up Three Magnets.
It's more or less like that, yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty close to it.
Just let him have it, Pat.
Good enough, Rob. Good enough, Ron. Good enough, Ron.
Jeff Stokes and you started making the beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why did you say yes?
Oh, I just say yes to things sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's accurate.
Abe's like, yeah, that's how we got this whole thing started.
I guess the only qualm I have with that is I went to school for about a year and a half. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a whole lot. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
But I mean, so you opened Three Magnets in 2014, and you immediately started winning awards that same year.
We got a barleywine award for GABF, and then we had a handful of awards for the Washington Beer Awards. I think we got a couple awards 2 years in a row, but I can't remember exactly what the fucking awards were for. But I guess it's like that when you have awards come in. It's kind of like, can you imagine being the person who remembers every award they ever got? That would be embarrassing.
Sorry, all the brewers who are sitting in this room with us.
Like, I got
Jesus. Yeah, but if you get two awards
for me. You know, like,
So anyway, if you guys
really
could support
easy.
Pat's new project.
No, we got one GABF award, so it's easy to remember that one. And then had a whole lot of like second places in GABF or CVC, which is hilarious. But I mean, Washington Brewers Award, it's fun. I mean, it's super fun to like see Shane go up there and collect lots of awards for E9. Like it's insane. Like always like, another one, huh? That's rad in the same category. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've done that a couple of times. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
I've never heard someone talk so much shit about people who win awards.
Leave it to Pat. Leave it to Pat.
Oh, that's totally supportive though.
Yeah, love them.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the rest of this.
Talk shit all day long.
Oh my god.
As long as it's fun, that's all. I want everybody to
Keep
have
it
fun.
So Abe has her own history with Three Magnets as well, actually.
Me too. That's how
Yeah.
we met.
About the same
That's how
length
you
or
guys
longer.
met, right?
I think
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
I mean,
year.
it's funny. Our history actually goes a little bit deeper than that. Like, we didn't meet until Three Magnets, but he's from Duval, and my best friend Sarah is from North Bend, and so they like were very close. And then she is actually the one that brought me into Three Magnets, like 7 months into like after they opened. And then I just started beer tending there, and then I worked my way up to being their kind of first official general manager.
Yeah.
And then I actually stopped working for them briefly, and then they brought me back in when they got distribution with Northwest Beverage as their sales manager. And so that's what I started doing. But that was when Pat was already with Matchless. So that was with Jeff as head brewer. So I kind of did that really fast and furious and made my mark in the beer industry. I think that's when I really got my footing.
Whenever I saw you, you were working like crazy for Three Mag. You were labeling
pretty-
everything. You were running around everywhere in some car doing some sales or show, like events. You know, it was nuts. Like how much you were doing.
That's
Yeah.
how like Abe and I, well, like we didn't meet, but like we crossed paths a few times in the market because we were both doing sales stuff at the same time, and we didn't really actually meet until we both had a reason to be at the Parkway for more than like an hour. But we like
Yeah.
actually had our first beer together here, and like
Yeah,
we're very good
Crystal and
friends
I were just talking about that because she was like, "Was it this or was it this?" I was like, "It was definitely
was at the
IPA
Parkway.
day at the Parkway." Matt and you were both here. I remember because I was with who was I with? Top Rung, and then I came not Top Rung. Oh yeah. Wingman. I was with the guys from Wingman.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And then we hung
R.I.P.
out and came out to the patio, and that's
Yeah.
where we met. And then
But I had seen
rest
you
is
20
history.
times. Like to Pat's point, like I had seen you just running circles around all of the salespeople who were around here. I imagine it was very much like a crash course in the industry. when
Yeah.
you came
Oh,
back
and then
in.
you came down to see me, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, come have a beer, Matt. Let's hang
Yeah.
out." And now we're fam.
Yeah.
So that's been great.
Well, so yeah, that's like a super quick, brief history.
Mm-hmm.
But can we talk about what you guys are doing?
Yes,
down
please.
Hundo P.
there? Yeah.
It's that time.
Yep. Already.
Yeah.
We'll get back to old shit too.
Yeah.
Just-
Let's see. Like in brief, I've been out for 3 years. I think Abe's been out for something
About that
similar in time of beer. So it's been kind of a nice break. Alcohol industry definitely eats on you, especially for crazy
That's
people like
for
me.
true.
Yeah. So it's been fun though, but like making beer is definitely like an itch and in the blood and all that. So for the last like year and a half or so, I've been trying to get something going, but it's mostly just like, where's the blockage? It all costs money. Okay, there's the blockage, you know. Wah, wah.
Word.
Yeah. So we've just been at it for the last like year and a half, just putting things together, talking a lot, researching a lot, learning a lot, and figuring out the side of the brewery industry that like I've opened 2 breweries now personally. So it's all been production side, putting the brew house together, setting up first batches, setting up all those kinds of relationships that are on that side. But the business side of it, the actual like, you know, the dirty side, I haven't been messing with that much. And so we've been working at that for the last like year and a half. And yeah, we're set to open sometime in the summer, early summer, Ilk Beer. It's right now it's Abe, myself, and then Rob over here, who's not on the mic. And it's just super exciting. It's going to be a 15-barrel system. We're going to make kind of the usual stuff people make. And that's it. That's where I'm going to leave it. Yeah.
The kind you drink. The kind you drink.
No, the joke though is like I just saw Derek up at Bizarre Brewing, and it was rad to see him, and he's making some of these like harder to sell, easy drinking, smaller beers, and it's nice to see that entering the market in a harder way. You know, Machine House has been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Everyone plays around with these smaller beers, and I mean honestly, Pilsner's really kind of opened up the door for a lot of I think beers the industry used to like, and now I think a lot of people are getting more into. So we'll see if we can not just make fucking hazy IPAs only. Not that I dislike that. Abe,
And
thoughts?
you're real good at them. I mean,
Well, this episode's
your
gonna be
beer
fucking
is what made me
spicy.
love IPAs. Like, I literally had never really drank an IPA I ever liked until I drank your beer at Three Magnets. So,
That's because of the water chemistry. That's it.
I mean, thank you, Olympia. But, we're lucky in that way. But for sure, I mean, I didn't enjoy IPAs until I drank Pat's beer, and so that's really what we're here for, and what brought us together in this way is that, like, he was honestly my intro into drinking beer. I come from the cocktail world.
Right.
I started out bartending and doing cocktails for a very long time, over a decade. And so for me coming to Olympia as an evergreener, I was just like, oh, Three Magnets, that's the new beer in town. And I met Sarah, and then she was like, oh, come work with us, you know? I was actually like commuting up to Seattle to go to work 4 days a week, almost 3 days a week.
Oh, damn.
And doing school full time on top of that. And so then finally when I quit that, I was like, oh yeah, I need a job in Olympia. So Sarah was like, yeah, come work at Three Magnets. We just opened, and the rest is history there.
So you've seen like the front end side, like Pat's seen the back end. You've seen the front end side of opening like a new brewery, and
that's
so,
why
like,
this works so well.
Right? Yeah, you guys make a good tag team on this.
Yeah. We kind of just like fill each other's gaps in that way. And like before that, I've done like bookkeeping and office management, and that's what I currently do. I work for a law firm. Maybe they'll hear this. I don't know. But
The days are
We're pretty
numbered.
big in the law community.
never know.
Or
But
they just wait for us
biggest
to say something
demographic.
stupid and not like, eh.
but yeah, so I think we're both really well-rounded, but also just like we're really complementary people, and I think we have really complementary characteristics as people. And
We give a lot of compliments. It's true.
we do lots of compliments to other people. We're very grateful people.
Pat, do you accept compliments? I remember you telling me that you don't do proud. Do you do proud
No,
now?
it doesn't.
No, I still don't do that very well.
Yeah.
It's not that everybody should feel how they feel, which is great. I'm never going to tell anyone how to feel. But I'd rather know what you don't like. than what you do. But if you're gonna make a compliment, you might as well make a joke out of it. Because humor is the best thing. Yeah.
I think you're very equitable. That's my favorite compliment.
What's that mean?
So
God damn these words.
is Ilk going to have food?
Right now, the plan is to. Okay, so I've just been doing a pop-up burger thing for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I know a lot about health departments and how they don't like you. So yeah, there'll be food, and what I've learned will be applied. We're not going to have a restaurant on site, but we will have a licensed prep space, which will be quote unquote a restaurant. That's the plan, so we can host pop-ups and do them ourselves.
Initially,
and there'll be a we call it phase 2. I think it's called phase 2.
Yeah.
Where there will be a restaurant. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Eventually.
because you experienced a restaurant at Three Magnets.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you? And you didn't quite dig it, did you?
Not at the time.
Yeah.
Everything was young and kind of rough and all that kind of stuff. And so if anybody would listen to anyone, you ended up being the HR person. That was one of the hardest parts about it for me personally. But I also have an inability to not listen to you and then talk to you and then listen to you if you do it to me. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So it's a self thing. Knowing that, it should work a little better in the future. Maybe.
It's all about awareness.
Yeah. And self-control, I hear.
Yeah, regulation, self-regulation.
Yeah. Does that sound right, Ron?
It does.
It's a good PC answer.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not PC people. How do you know?
It's an equitable answer.
For Three Mag, nothing PC. I love Nate and Sarah. They're great. So
Yeah.
and the whole place has always been fucking awesome. So they do wild shit, which is great.
Yeah.
That's a PC answer. Yeah.
I just want to throw out there too is that Nate and Sarah, they really trailblazed in Olympia. I think
No
they
shit.
did a really hardcore job at that. They've been through the ringer and still prevail and still just do it with a lot of grace and represent the community and really involve themselves in the community. And our brewery is going to be a block from them. We really support them 100%. There is just I feel no bad blood. I really love those guys. To me, they were always family. And Nate especially, he and I just really feel each other and we both have the same levels of anxiety that can be our burden, and so just we're excited to just I think hopefully lift everybody back up in that community in that way and share that.
Yeah, we already have plans to shut down multiple blocks between us of streets and then drink in the streets.
Yeah, can we just do
there's
that
plans
already?
I think it's called a beer fest.
Yeah, real
Olympia
life.
Beer Fest.
Block party, yeah.
Yeah,
So you got-
block
that's a
party
good
on
area,
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blocks party.
blocks,
Yeah.
blocks, multiple.
So you're moving into the Fish Building, right?
We sure are.
Nice. Are you keeping the whistle?
We've been
We got
asked
the
that
whistle.
several times. We got the whistle. We're mulling that over, but I think
Okay.
yes.
As far as blowing it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck it, might as well.
Yeah. We'll take turns. I mean,
Yeah.
especially Rob's kids are probably going to be and Pat's kids.
I don't have a ton of romantic feelings about things like industry stuff. It's usually very pragmatic or what's the word for it? Driven, if that makes sense. But to be in the old Fish Building is pretty fucking romantic. I gotta say.
Yeah, it really is.
Very,
Yeah. So to have the whistle
dreamy.
for sure. It's
Yeah.
hard not to want to do the thing. Yeah.
We got a community staple. Just I think that's what I'm really excited about too. Is just carrying that legacy. I think for whatever has happened with Fish, bless them and just setting the stage for us in this era of the craft industry. Just we get to carry that torch, and that seems
Totally.
really special. We also just love the fact that we are putting something and repurposing something as a second use rather than building something new. Means a lot to us. We really want to limit waste and create that sustainable process and create everything that is a closed system to the best of our ability. So it feels really good to just re-enliven that area. And also I just mention all the time how much we are going to be completing kind of a circle in the downtown area to be able to just walk downtown in a circle to like all the breweries
I guess
and
that's
tap
right.
rooms and bars because it's like 4th Avenue State Legion. And so it's like between those three, now you can go
Totally.
in a whole big circle or figure 8
Yeah, then
and
those,
just like walk your heart out.
then the Santa crawl and the drunk rugby crawl will stop at our place too, and we can
All
get in fights.
y'all,
Dude.
come our way. We're down for it.
And the vampire bar.
Yeah.
And Pig Bar will benefit.
Golf
They're
bar's
like
still
right
there.
there.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
get a brewery district by choice.
Yes.
Kind of true.
Here we go.
That is
Here we go.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What a concept.
What a concept.
I think every brewery is like 3 blocks away or 4, so it's a nice little distance to walk between drinking and not being drunk. So
We'll give you the opportunity to sober up like 2 minutes during your walk.
yeah, exactly. It's like living in Portland, but it's tiny.
Take a sip of water. Take a sip of water at the artesian well.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
That hit on a bit of what we're doing, which is the like less like beer sexy part, which is trying to repurpose as much as possible, which means buying used shit because it's affordable, but also building new shit
But it's
is
sustainable.
unnecessary. Yeah, super sustainable.
Yeah,
like
that's awesome.
reutilizing. That's a big piece of it. There's a lot of not equipment left in the fish building, but there's a lot of parts left and pipes and utilities and things like that we can repurpose, which looking forward to for sure.
That's so cool.
It makes it somewhat achievable. By the way, I haven't started brewing in like 5 years, maybe 6-7 years. It's fucking expensive now.
So expensive,
Word.
you guys.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
That's it. Yeah. That's the main
I mean,
thing.
it's kind of like
the only
other
catch.
things, but
Just that.
That's the
Jesus
only
God. Oh, man.
Yeah, it really
I've done
has
1,000
that
things.
much time to go by. It's way more expensive.
Are you
now.
going to repurpose Poseidon?
It would be rad to work on some of those fish brands, but the former owners, the most recent owners, still own all those brands. So it'll be one of those things where, if we could work it out in some way, that'd be fun. Sure, but
Yeah.
I mean,
It'd be like
we could-
funny for them to like let
Like
one go
Poseidon's trident.
and like let you guys just kind of like because you're already repurposing old things, and it's like how do you guys tie into like your new approach to a beer business in this area, and then also kind of like carry on a legacy that they sort of built decades ago.
It would be rad.
It'd be
if
like
that
pretty
was
cool to do that.
in the heart of the former owners for sure.
Yeah.
Or the
Yes.
current owners, I guess. Really,
Yes.
yeah. We'll see. There'll be conversations for sure.
I
Yeah.
really hope
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
there
can have
is-
those conversations.
There's a lot of great legacy beers out of. I mean, if you throw in the Leavenworth acquisition too,
It's crazy.
take it and run it.
Like there's so much.
Ooh.
Yeah. So much meaning there too, which is like
Yeah.
wild. It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd just be so fun to like re-envision that and like also just include them. I just feel like that's really part of our values is just like networking, and Pat hates that term, but
That's why you're the business homie, dude.
But
That's why you're that side.
inclusion, like including that history is so
making
important.
friends.
Like we're essentially like standing on their backs,
Sure.
Like they were what brought us into this age in the South Sound, and
First.
they're a huge part
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huge part of that. So for us to take that building just like means the world. We really came at this at the right time. We got so lucky, and I don't know. Right now, we're feeling super blessed, having just signed our lease, and
That's so exciting.
yeah, it's
You guys
a
are going to be the
huge-
best fucking neighbors ever.
Yeah.
Jesus God.
We'll pretty much do anything. So yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Christmas time in the neighborhood
Oh
when
my
you
gosh,
guys get up and running.
He's so good. He's so good.
Just run laps around like that. down
Please
there.
do.
Oh,
Please
dude.
do.
Why Ilk?
Come hang.
You want to do that one, Abe?
So we went through, we have like a Google Keep file that we had started, I think like maybe 2 weeks into the first conversation we had about doing this together. And we just have this massive list that we now added Rob to of all of these names that we came up with of like, just because we're ridiculous and stupid and love playing with words. And I actually personally come from Scottish heritage. And it was a big part of my grandma. My grandma was a genealogist. And did like our family history back 6 generations before she passed away. And so, my family comes from the Scottish Isles. So it's one of the things that I added to the list personally. And then we whittled it down, and it came down to like us before I started. I actually took a business class to write our business plan. And like right before we started that class. I should say I started that class.
Yeah, I took that close, air quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do school. I guess that's what it
I
comes
told
down
him
to.
what
You
I
got a
needed to know
good part
upon,
of
and he
that.
helped me.
Yeah, I did what Abe asked for that class,
Yeah.
basically.
You do
yeah.
this, thank you.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but right before I did that class, I was like, okay, we're doing this. Like, my brother's got to design us a logo. We got to have this on fleek, right? So,
Can we say that?
duh.
Okay.
And then,
Abe can.
so I was like, we got to whittle this down. We have a massive list. And I just like put my top 5 and I was like, here's my top 5. What do you think? And Pat's like, well, here's my top 3 out of that top 5. And we just whittled it down. And it was honestly between
Amble.
Amble and Ilk.
Wait,
And I
Gamble?
just kind of Amble. You know, because
Ooh.
like wander, but Amble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I literally,
Yeah.
so here's the thing about that is like I studied like the history of pilgrimage, and it being a big thing, and so like I have a tattoo about it. So I was like, Amble's related to wandering and sauntering and all of that. So we liked that name, but I really made a strong case for Ilk, and I just
They're
came up
both
with a.
Sexy words.
They're kind of sexy. But here's the thing. I think that really sold it. At the time, we were working with another person, and he also had a name that was a 3-letter word. I mean, it worked out, Rob. You know, good job having a 3-letter name as well. But Xander.
Oh, Xander. Yeah,
You
totally.
asked me who it was. Xander.
Xander
Love
wasn't there a lot.
him.
Fuck you, Xander. Oh, sorry.
Fuck you, Xander. Fuck you, Xander. We love you,
Xander.
Xan.
My favorite part.
He's a hamma hamma, by the way.
Yeah, he used to work for Hamma Hamma.
I think he's there again.
And he's doing his thing. But he was gonna, spearhead the kitchen side of things, really. But he's phenomenal. We love him. He's a longtime friend.
Did
He
he
used to
have a
work
name?
for Three Magnets as well. But he had Zan. So we had Zan, Abe, and Pat. So we were like, also, just like we like the succinctness
of
and
another 3-letter thing.
yeah, but 3-letter thing, and
That
also
must have been
just
you,
like
Xander.
but that's kind of how it came about. It was just this like, we'll just like think of all these things that we really connect with, and that's something that I really connected with, and I kind of
Yeah. There's like a
Sold
community
it.
thing there too, which is like it's Ilk.
Yeah.
Like our people are all like the South Sound, like Olympia specifically.
Yeah, I like that.
It has a huge amount to do with that. It's like no matter if you like, it's like Tacoma. It's a good way to relate to Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that ilk. You can mean that of like a positive, like they're of that ilk, or it could be they're of that ilk. And I'm sure people in Tacoma understand that feeling. Not everybody likes you all the time. Same with Olympia and all that kind of shit. So it worked out that way too because
I
it
like
could
that
be
it speaks
taken
to
all
the
ways.
industry too. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
It's kind of it's a particular type of people who can stay in this industry and not lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of
for
the
sure.
of the same
Of the
kind.
same
It's like
ilk, yeah.
it's a lot of people who use what is that term, like the real ones.
Oh,
But
I thought you were gonna say mentally ill.
I mean, I'm also that.
I thought you were gonna say like 5%
Yeah.
or
I was going
something.
through the Rolodex.
But of the same, category, family, clan, tribe,
Yeah.
place,
Mentally ill.
land,
Yeah, mentally ill.
mentally ill. Absolutely.
Put that on the,
Oh my God, that's going on our beer name list.
Yeah. No. We'll get in trouble for that
going
one.
on?
Also,
there.
and thank goodness, I mean, now that phone books are irrelevant, otherwise Amble would have been the one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Brewery,
First on the
brewery.
list,
Hey,
first on the
Amble.
list.
Okay.
Well, bam.
We're going there.
Now it's at least people GPS it, and we're like literally 2 minutes off the freeway.
Yeah.
So
It's like when Linkin Park named themselves that to be next to Limp Bizkit. Yeah. In the CD rack.
It's just like that.
just like that.
That's a
fuck-
good place
fuck
to
all
take
that.
a break. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break and be back with more stuff about this and some fuck up stories and all kinds of stuff. So hang out. We'll be right back.
You know what I mean? Non-stop fuck ups.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. As always, we want to give a quick shout out to Channel 253. If you have not yet, you should absolutely check out Channel 253. Doug, our wonderful producer, is from Channel 253, and him and his partner Eric run a wonderful network of podcasts that are all about Tacoma, and they range from all sorts of topics: education, local politics, food, and beer. And we're super happy to be a part of their network. You can support those guys and stay connected to Tacoma as a community by going to channel253.com/membership. You are all children. God,
Oh,
damn
God,
it.
yeah.
What have I?
They
What
even
have
have
I
churches
done?
in Tacoma.
God, that was a great break.
So much.
Nobody knows that break's like a day long. It's weird.
So yeah, we were talking about all sorts of stuff, of course. It sounds like we have a whole half an episode of fuck up stories. So how early do we want to start those?
I mean, you could just start him now, Pat.
We don't want to wear out all of Sean's because he has like a lot more podcasts to do over his life. Yeah.
Oh, God bless you.
I'm just trying to be generous here. Yeah.
It's kind of, it's like, that's sort of recycling, right? Repurposing.
That's true. If you go,
Stretching out the lifespan of something. Yeah.
you go long enough, it's new again. It's true. Yeah.
Might get another 6 months on my contract.
Okay, you guys have to
awesome.
leave. You can't be the Parkway anymore. I got them out of
You'll at
stories.
least
Fuck
have
y'all.
to last until we open.
I've had one
Yep.
banked for a little bit that I haven't, like, because it's not me and it's not even really beer, but it's like this industry related. But yeah, if we need to warm up with one, I got one banked
Matt's
because it actually just happened not that long
Oh
ago.
my gosh, please
Oh,
stop.
freshie.
Let's do
It's
it.
it's
Yeah,
fresh.
let's get it out while
Okay.
it's fresh.
It's a little problematic. Just gonna let you guys know, but it wasn't me. Mostly.
That's what they all say.
God damn it! Just let me tell the story.
But it looks like you.
Okay, so I work for a distributor. I've mentioned that before, and we have all kinds of people who come and do sales pitches to us as a distributor if they want us to carry their brand or their product or whatever it is. And we distribute all sorts of things. It's mostly beer, but we also distribute things like cider and sake and all kinds of other stuff. So there's a sake company that came to do a sales presentation, and our owner, who happens to be Japanese and is also an importer himself, he actually works with like some of the best sake producers in the world, and so he imports a lot of them to Washington. He actually has a lot of knowledge on that, and we have multiple people who in our company who are WSET certified in sake. So we have sommeliers of sake employed at our company, and our sake portfolio Yuji is also Japanese, and so we have a lot of tie-ins to this particular culture. So the dude who came to sell us this product. Was like part owner of this sake company, and I'm not going to say it because this is just the worst. But he was doing a sales presentation, and our owner, wasn't going to be there. So he was like, "Hey, can somebody take notes?" And I was like, "Cool. I don't really take minutes ever, but I just happen to be doing it at this time." And so, like 10 minutes into the presentation that this guy was doing, which lasted about an hour, one of us like made a joke. It's a small distributor. We're like a bunch of beer nerds. There's like 10 of us, not even 10 of us there. So one of us made a joke, and like, as soon as he felt that like the room was kind of like loosened up, his professionalism went out the window so fast. And then he got so racist so fast. And I took really thorough notes of every fucking thing he said.
Wow.
And it was like unbelievable. I want to pull him up, but I remember some of them. So he was telling us about like how to sell sake, and like we're literally, so there's one of the sake certified people in our company, Andrea, is like a little tiny woman, and this dude was extra misogynist and like kept turning to her to ask her if she like knew what words meant. So he'd be like, "Do you know what this means?"
Like equitable.
Like
Oh my
just
God.
equitable. And dude,
Yes,
like
thank
so
you.
and she like
Thank you, Sean.
she's grown, like she deals with us all the time. She has no problem being like, "Yeah, I know what that means, man. Like leave me the fuck alone." So she did that a couple of times, and then he like asked her what preservatives meant. And I was like, "Hey, man, she's the only one in this room who's WSET certified. She's more qualified than all of us to be sitting in this fucking meeting right now. Just chill for a second."
Yeah, just
But it was like, it took 3 comments. And then he was like, he said something about how in Japan, like they need to get rid of their sake. If they sell sake more than like a year old, then like they lose their job and they lose their wife. And it was like this weird... It was like a weird fantasy about like primitive Japanese culture, and like our Yuji, our salesperson, and our sake portfolio person was like shaking his head like with his. It was the funniest shit. It was hilarious, but it was also like one of the craziest meltdowns I've ever seen. And it was, 2 pages of like unbelievable comments. And when I gave these very thorough notes to my owner, he called me and he was like, "Hey man, is this a joke? Like, did these guys really say all of this?" He said that they have a bottle They have a bottle. He told us not to sell his sake to traditional Japanese restaurants because they don't like it. And then we learned really quickly why, because he's super racist. And we were like, hey, who else should we be selling it to? And then he has a bottle that's like plated in gold, and he was like, don't sell this anywhere where like Middle Eastern people work because gold means death. And we were like, what the fuck? You're just making stuff up. Like, you're trying to sell it? First of all, you're just telling us a bunch of places we can't sell it to. Also, you're so racist. When I gave my boss these notes, he called me. He's like, hey, man, this really seems like a joke. And so I was like, nah, man, ask anybody. These notes are 100% verbatim. And he called the other owner. So it was one of the owners that talked to us. He called the other owner, and he was like, hey, man, I kind of think we're out on this. I know we already talked about bringing your stuff in, but like, this dude said a bunch of problematic stuff, and like, you know, he even said some stuff to our sales rep Yuji, who is Japanese, and like had a lot of issues with that. And the other guy's response to him saying that was, oh man, is Yuji like a traditional Japanese? And we were like, holy shit, it's just a culture thing. You're all toxic and this sucks, and we are not selling your stupid sake. It was the worst.
Yikes.
So not a fuck up story, but a fucked up story.
Yeah.
Totally.
It was the
Fucked
worst.
with the tea.
I think it's hilarious. Like,
It was. I've never seen
keep
such
my
a
wine out
meltdown.
of the Italian freaking
I know,
restaurants.
dude.
I don't want my goddamn whiskey in the Irish bars.
They're just not going to get it.
And it was like, oh, no wonder these Japanese, like traditional Japanese businesses who we work with and like we have great partnerships with, don't like you guys. You guys suck.
Yeah.
Why are you even selling this? It was the worst. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
If you leave with one piece of advice for your new venture.
Period.
We'll definitely fuck with our audience, but they're our audience directly, you know, and you know who they are. So yeah, mostly beer nerds. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm replaying some of it in my head now.
Wow.
It's just it was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a sales call at Matchless once that was, I didn't know this at the time, but he was in the room trying to sell our bartenders labels for cans, like shrink wrap, you know, the shrink cans. He was in there trying to sell our bartenders this, and I was overhearing it because I'm at the desk just sitting there doing my thing. And it was going on for like minutes. And so eventually I get up and I go to the guy. I'm like, hey, they're not buying wraps from you, dude. And he's like, looks over me. He's like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, whoa, how curt. Okay, cool, it's on. You know,
You must be in a hurry.
I'm like,
God damn.
this is cool. It's on. I don't mind being on too. I'm not a fighter necessarily, but if you do that, I'm usually gonna get like my attention. You know.
You mean
Yeah.
And
turned
so
on.
I'm basically just like, who the fuck am I? I'm a guy who works here. Get out of my tasting room, you know? And he's just like, this is totally unacceptable. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. Leave. And it was more or less along those lines because this was years ago now.
Yeah.
But the guy was fucking pissed and he left. I talked to Grant later on, owner of the business, and apparently that was the owner of the business that was supplying us our cans.
Oh
Yeah.
no. This got different really fast.
Yeah. So he owns a wrap company up in Redmond that maybe is there, maybe not, because wrapping your cans is lame. And I'm assuming his business might be fucked at this
Heard
point
it
in
here
time.
first.
Bro, this episode is hot take
Don't do it.
101.
It's lame.
I can't wait for part 2.
And he was apparently up visiting from like Bay Area or somewhere in California and just kind of going around to the accounts and stuff, you know, and doing his dumb thing. And yeah, that happened. We lost the cans. We lost the cans the day before a canning run, basically.
Oh my God.
It really sucked for me, but also Grant got it. He gets when shit's fucked up. That's for sure. But it was super fucking annoying for him. And we found cans, I think, just like last second from probably another brewery, Rubens or something like that, you know? So it worked out, but man, it sure did suck. But it was also like, fuck that guy. Anyway.
Anyway.
Just don't fuck with my tasting room staff or like bar staff. It's dumb.
Yeah, over
Yeah.
something that they have no say over.
No.
Yeah, like, what
No,
are
I
you
get
doing,
it.
dude? Like,
Yeah.
I know you got money, you can do shit you want, but like, not that, you know?
That was an awesome twist on a fuck up story.
Actually, it was. It kind of was.
I like that.
You had me in the
a
first
lot.
half, I'm
That
not
was
going to lie.
Oh no! If it's a fuck up story for me, I usually fucked up and I got in trouble for it too. So yeah,
Yeah, but it seemed like just like a Matt story. Like,
Yeah,
oh, we're
like,
talking
this guy's
about
being a dick.
fucking. How does Dave Chappelle say instead of word? Observably stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
Absurdly stupid.
Any fuck up stories from Three Mags?
Boy, let's see. I feel like there was.
I don't want to see the look on my face.
I know, right?
I really feel like there was less fuck up stories on my side of the thing there, but maybe it was so far ago that it was kind of hard to tell. One of our first beers we made was a hazy when hazy was still like a thing, like becoming a thing, and it was an accident because I forgot to buy Whirlflock, which clears the beers in the boil, blah blah blah, nerd shit, you know. And the beer was really hazy and it was an IPA, and a lot of people were like, "This is fucking amazing," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't want it to be hazy, so fuck off."
And it's now called.
And then you guys got really well known for that.
Yeah. Well, a year later, we made another hazy because it was Grant's birthday, and I'm like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he's just like, "A hazy IPA," and I'm like, "Okay, sure." And then we made it intentionally, which is easy to do, you know. I'm not. Yeah, and so you know, there's that. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck up some 3 Mag though. I don't know. Abe, you got any? You got any you want to share? Yeah.
I mean, I don't think really. Maybe my fuck ups are more with people.
Yeah. We didn't have forklifts at 3 Mag, so it's hard to fuck up real bad, you know?
I mean, it's tight quarters in there.
Oh,
With that
well,
attitude it is, but I tell you what, like,
I don't know. I think
don't
I'm
sell
just
yourself
more.
short.
Oh
Like,
yeah, okay. I got my first yeast bath at 3 Mag twice. When you're dry hopping a beer from the top of the tank, and you have the 4-inch board off. It's a hole in the top of the tank that's 4 inches big.
Yep.
If you dry hop at the wrong time, there's a lot of CO2 in suspension in the beer, and it burps back at you real bad. And usually you end up covering half or more of your body in beer. I did that a couple times. You smell really good.
So good.
No, you very don't.
It's in. I don't usually, but when I have beer all over me.
Never mind, Pat. You're different.
That's what happens.
But it's really scary. It's super scary. I know Jeff did that one time. He I think dry hopped a beer. This is a story I've heard, and it gushed for minutes straight.
Oh yeah.
Into the whole brewery, into the bar, into the walkway next to it, every fucking where. I've never had one that bad. Yeah. But I mean, that's part of the deal. If you're dry hopping beer from the top, it's gonna happen to you.
Totally.
Yeah. I have what else from
Yeast
3 Mag? Loads of gashes on my back and scratches on my body from being such tight quarters. That brewery is like a submarine, like working in a submarine. Wait, that's a weird reference because nobody's been in a fucking submarine, right? Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Oh, we got one. Yeah.
There's the ride, and you go around like. It counts. It freaking counts.
Yeah, we've seen TV at least. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It is super tight, and it's it's not like low ceiling, but every fucking corridor is
It's
16
tight
inches
quarters.
wide.
Yeah, it's a beer making place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have to walk through sideways.
Yeah. Same.
I think we all do. I don't have any 3 Mag fuck ups. I don't really think. I think my fuck up stories just come from the cocktailing world mostly. When I was managing bar, I managed bar for Harry's Fine Foods on Capitol Hill in Seattle, and then I helped open Harry's Beach House on Alki Beach in West Seattle, and that was its own adventure. I'd never actually opened a place before, and my real fuck up there was like a week before I actually quit, which is a whole nother story you can ask me about later. But my fuck up was that I did not order enough beer from Cloudburst. I had used my beer connections and contacted Noah and been like, dude, hook me up. I really want you as my IPA because I only have 3 taps and I want an IPA and I want you. So please get me one. He was like, okay, well, we're not really selling to anybody else, but I'll hook you up. And so they were, and one of their people was living in the neighborhood at the time. And they were like, yes, let's get one in there. And I asked for one of those, umbrella handles and got our IPA.
Not a dildo handle.
Not a dildo.
Thank you for specifying.
I mean, I
a
don't
beach
know.
house.
Maybe it became one. But yeah, Harry's Beach House. And so I got it in there. Well, we were open for I don't know, a week. And we just like blew that IPA out of the water, which was crazy to me because after managing Harry's Fine Foods on Capitol Hill, like we were not a beer spot, which
Right.
I tried so hard to actually be that because we were, like a little restaurant, but originally it was a bodega. And so when they opened, they were trying to conform also to that idea of like wanting to be a bodega. Like we sold soap and tampons and beer and wine and all these awesome little things you wouldn't think of, like pasta. And so I was just like, oh yeah, having my background, I want to make it really beer trendy and fun and like give people some stuff that they're not used to in the beer realm because we're really good at selling a lot of wines. And I was like, well, I want beers that actually like live up to that standard as well. And so I kind of improved the beer program as manager there. And so when we opened Beach House, I was like, well, I have to have the best. If I'm going to have 3 taps, I have to have the best. I have to have Cloudburst. I also really wanted it as a part of West Seattle to be, representative of what was local and hot and amazing. And so, knowing what I know, I was like, we got to have Cloudburst. We got to have it over here. So that's what I did. Well, a weekend, we blasted through the keg. My chef wouldn't allow me to have more than 1 keg in the walk-in.
Oh, no.
It was his space. So I had only bought
You're like, I'm
1
fucking outta
fucking
here.
keg. And we blew through it, believe it or not. I mean, we did, and then people were stoked. So we blew through it. It was a Saturday morning, and I had to go buy one. And so I was like trading shifts with my other bartender that was amazing and like changed his shifts to get rid of a reservation he had with his girlfriend that night, all this stuff. And Wynn picked it up in person. And that was my whole deal with Noah was like, okay, I'll sell to you, but you have to come pick them up.
Oh,
and I was like,
man.
cool, I will do that. 100% just to get your beer in this tap room. I'll come pick it up. So that's what I did. I switched shifts. I got it in there, made it happen, got the second keg on draft and like worked a double. And then the rest is really history with them because I was gone a week later. But
So you're not buying
Unrelated.
beer.
unrelated. Also, I still think they're wonderful. Their food is wonderful. Their location's wonderful. They're trying to do good things. But
When's Ilk gonna open?
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So
ASAP?
It's a good
we all know how
question.
timelines work, right? Timelines are
Yeah.
solid. They're always solid.
Permits and things.
They always work really well. We get our lease assigned occupancy. We can go in there and start doing things like taking shit apart in January. So we start doing that then. Our brew house. So we have a used brew house in Portland. It's at North Coast. Friend Matt has it in there.
Cool.
Nice.
Yes, like the brewery name, but not. Okay. Sean, is that no?
North Coast?
Yeah, North Coast. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it tickles all kinds of things on my body.
I saw that. Yeah, they definitely get that a lot. I talked to Matt about that. He's like, as soon as we named it that, and then within like 6 months, and has some shirts and shit branded or something like that. He's like, and we just it clicked. Like, oh fuck, North Coast. Yeah. Duh.
Fuck yeah.
Damn it.
All right, legal team.
Yeah.
All our legal listeners,
Luckily, yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
We are not about
Love you,
IQ
Matt, if
over
you're
here.
listening. But yeah, so they received the brew house in sometime last year, used brew house, American made, blah, blah, blah. But part of the goal, is always to like reuse as much as possible, right? So I'm asking Matt, he's a friend of mine for a long time now, would you mind receiving a used brew house into your building new brew house facility and then kind of reconfigure the fucking thing and do stuff for us like that? And he's just like, of course. Of course,
That's so nice.
Yeah, which is very nice of him.
Jeez.
So he's been sitting on it. They've been sitting on it for a while. Him and Casey and a bunch of other cool people down there doing stainless shit. If you're buying a brewery right now, North Coast, down in Portland. So they have it right now. They're going to get in the lineup in March. We should get it sometime in June, July. We're having it reconfigured so we can like cook in the kettle and then boil in the kettle so we can actually do proper lager mashing. Lauter ton, blah, 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 Whirlpool, blah, blah, blah. Steam system, blah, blah, blah. One of the fun parts about it, because this is me, I'm a little kid this way, we're doing a no brew deck brew house. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Pretty weird, huh?
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody does that. So
Keep it on the
this will be
ground.
pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. There'll be no selfies in the brew deck, fuckers.
Pat's gonna be laying on the
Taking
floor
your
with our
collab beer
fancy
pictures of our
drinks.
fucking brew deck.
Yep. Yeah. That's
We
right.
have 0
Selfie.
collabs.
Yeah, we just lost all our collab cred.
Exactly.
No, because we're the cool guys now. We're like the hipsters. We're like, no brew deck. You want to come selfie here?
I'm too old to be a hipster, I'm sorry to say. We'll have friends brewing with us, though, for sure. So, you know who you are, Eric at North Fork. Yeah, that's the story on the brewery. We should receive that in sometime June, July, which puts us right in time for fresh hop season. Very happy about that. Yeah, so we can do all that labor. It's insane. Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
that's kind of the time frame, though. As things work out, who knows? Like what'll be the block here or there. But right now, it seems and feels like a lot of things are moving smoothly. Nice to say. Yeah. Nice to feel. Yeah.
Yeah, nice to feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's
We're knocking
rapping
on all the
wood
wood
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock on all the wood.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Luckily-
luckily that has
Health
not
department,
been our
the
issue.
best.
That's
Okay,
not
so-
been our issue.
okay,
at
so-
all.
Favorite people in the world.
So
God, I love them, and their services are important and
Yeah.
timely,
Yeah.
practical.
If the
bless
pandemic's
them.
taught
Yes,
us anything,
They're
health
so well
department.
organized.
I think we should do a fundraiser.
Dogs are overrated.
No,
Fuck the dogs.
I'm sorry, but
Health
I
department,
disagree, Ron
badass.
and Sean.
Yo, liquor board, you're the best.
Dogs
We
are
love
not
you guys.
overrated.
Everyone.
Luckily, we're in
We
Thurston
really
County.
understand
Yes.
everything that you're trying to accomplish, and
I'm with
fully
Abe.
support you.
I'm with Abe on this one. We're in Thurston County, not Pierce County, so our health
Yeah,
department is
yeah,
much
yeah.
easier to work with. That doesn't mean they're easy to work with. So I've spent a lot of time trying to work with them, and the worst was Seattle. When I called the health department there, I got Dad on the phone who said no, and I asked why, and they said because I said so. Right? So, yeah.
Gross.
So it's
Yeah.
it's
No,
insane.
man,
when,
that's big city shit. Seriously,
That's
like,
why
you
we're
should
in a
have
small
time to fucking
city.
explain
Fucking
things to
yeah.
people.
Alpha male
yeah,
Yeah, you
motherfuckers.
fucked it. It's wrong.
Oh, yeah,
Click.
that's Dave Whitewood. He was here earlier,
Yeah.
hanging out and dropping off some bottles for you, Sean. But like he was like he pointed out to me one day, he's like, so you're fighting the health department and trying to get them to change what they're doing, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
He's just
that's
like,
what.
he just shakes his head because it's like such an incredulous thing to do. I know it is, but I had no choice. They shut me down on the pop up. So yeah, but we'll be working with them again on the new thing. But like, luckily, we have everything in place as far as that's concerned. There's no gray area because I was just riding the gray area hard earlier. Yeah,
I mean, we will generally ride the gray area. Let's be honest.
you don't have to. It's kind of nice not to. It's hard. It's very stressful. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Doug gave us a time warning, but I'm gonna thank you both for hanging out. That was awesome.
that's it.
And
Doug, you're
I know,
awesome.
It goes through so quick.
Well, that's easy.
I know it does. It happens
It
fast.
does. An hour is not enough for these two talkers that
You,
we have.
you don't want to do 4 hours? Okay. Yeah.
I know we will do another one though, especially like as you guys get closer and
Yeah,
it starts
follow up.
getting more real. Like, dude, we
Yeah.
gotta talk more about it.
Imagine if we put out some beer finally. Huh?
Everybody follow.
Where can people find you guys?
We are at www.ilkbeer.com. That's ILKBEER.com.
Not ELK.
And also, we have our Instagram at ilkbeer.com, ILKBEER. So
Yeah.
it's very exciting.
That is
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
We're so pumped.
It's been a
And I
really
like-
fun journey. We look forward to sharing it with all of you and our community. And our community has been super supportive. And all of our former regulars as well that come to love us and know us have been super supportive as well. So that's
Oh
super
yeah,
fun.
our bartender's gonna be like the guest star bartenders in Olympia. Anybody you know that you like is gonna be bartending down there.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
rotating all-star thingy.
Coming
Yeah.
at you.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That is awesome. I can't remember her name from Solomon's.
From the Reef.
Yeah.
Who is it? I can't think of it. Is she?
She's
What do
amazing.
they look like? What do they look
Is
like?
she there still?
Yeah, I think so.
Does she move to Bellingham?
I'll have to ask Audrey.
All right.
All right.
That's
This is the full bladder ending. Bear with me.
Somebody tickle Ron.
so full.
Already on it.
All right,
Didn't
Grit
even
and
finish the
Grainers.
barley wine.
Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and mail carrier jokes like, what starts with T, ends with E, and has 1 million letters in it? Tacoma Post Office. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as quickly as can, if not online, then on air. Be sure to follow us. You can subscribe to us at Grit Grain on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher.
And Amazon.
And Amazon now. I forgot. Nice job, man. And please leave us a review. Also check us out on Channel 253, Douglas, and gritgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for episode notes of beer news and our thoughts on as we casually yet secretly glance down into the depths of our snifter as we sip the final barley wine drip. We notice the gleaming, oozing, reddish blackness of it all and suddenly get impaled on the sense of infinite timelessness. And then we have one of those bizarre, detached, suspended reality experiences where we see the world as a bizarre random assortment of scattershot events and sensory inputs and tactile phenomena. And we feel a little floaty and odd, like, how did we get to this place? Doing this thing at this time, in this body, using this language on this tundra, sipping this boozy beverage in this life. It's a deliciously weird feeling that thankfully only lasts a few moments. Otherwise, we'd very likely go insane and have to be heavily medicated with more barley wine, Sean. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter expectations. The universe is terribly grateful this is no longer a thing. Look at this photograph. Every time I do make me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine. Tune in next Friday for more chatter.
Ron, brought to you by DMT. Wow, Ron. That one was really good, Ron. Goddamn. Yeah. Holy crap.
Rad. Jesus
That was definitely
Well
100%
done.
what you do.
Nickelback.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
This is Channel 253.
Get up.